Let's bring in Michael Mann. He's the director of the University of Pennsylvania Center for Science, Sustainability, and the Media, and he's also the author of The New Climate War. Michael, welcome in. In a year that featured so many extreme climate events, what stood out to you as being the most significant?
Yeah, thanks. It's great to be with you. And, you know, we saw a little bit of everything. This past year, we saw pretty much everything that climate change has to throw at us in the form of these amplified extreme weather events, whether it's the heat and the drought and the wildfires that we've seen out west, the unprecedented flooding events that we've seen around the country, and even these winter storms. Some people think that it's somehow inconsistent that we see these bigger snowfalls as a result of climate change and global warming, but it's entirely consistent with the underlying physics. When you warm up the oceans and lakes like the Great Lakes, that means that when these storms travel over them, they're able to evaporate more moisture into the atmosphere. And that moisture is available to produce those record snowfalls that we've seen with nor'easter events along the east coast of the U.S. That impact, the city of Philadelphia, where I live, and especially in the Great Lakes, where we see these massive lake effect snows that are enhanced by human-caused warming, by climate change.
I want to point out a Time magazine headline that struck me this week. I'm going to read it here. It's lengthy. 2022 was almost a disaster for climate change action. Instead, there was hope. That refers to the passage of the climate provisions contained in the Inflation Reduction Act, which opened up billions of dollars of funding to help the country turn away from CO2 emitting fossil fuels and toward renewable energy and battery-powered vehicles, heat pumps, and other climate-friendly technologies. So even though we see a lot of these disasters, is there a reason to be hopeful in 2023?
Yes, like I like to say, there is urgency, and we see the urgency in the form of these devastating and deadly and costly extreme weather events and the inundation of our coasts from sea level rise and melting ice. There is urgency, but there's also agency. There is still time to avert the worst impacts of climate change. And we have to be able to hold two seemingly incongruous thoughts in our minds at the same time. It can be possible that we're seeing substantial progress while there isn't yet enough progress. And that's what we saw, for example, in the most recent UN climate conference in Sharm el-Sheikh just a little more than a month ago, where we didn't see the sorts of commitments that we might have wanted to see to rapidly phasing out coal and other fossil fuels. At the same time, we saw substantial progress when it comes to dealing with the assistance to the developing world and countries that don't have the sort of infrastructure that we have in dealing with the impacts that they're already feeling. And we saw the most aggressive climate bill ever signed into law here in the United States. The climate provisions of the Inflation Reduction Act, which are going to make a real difference and bring the United States back to the lead when it comes to global climate action.
Michael Mann with us.